Welcome to The Conversation Continues. We welcome Scott Bailey, who's the senior reporter at the San Antonio Business Journal, and Greg Jefferson is the business editor of the San Antonio Express News. Thank you for joining us. Scott, on the TV segment, we were talking about the scooters. It seems like San Antonio City Council is routinely caught flat-footed by technology. We saw it with the Uber issues they had, where Uber briefly pulled out of the community and then came back in, and now it seems like they're unable to wrap their arms around the issue involving scooters. Now the legislature is even considering stepping in, and right behind that, I'm sure, is short-term leasing and Airbnb as being the next controversy they'll deal with. What's it going to take for City Council to get up to speed when it comes to rapid innovations in technology?
Well, there's been such a push just in general to embrace new technology that I think sometimes we all forget that you have to have a plan for that new technology, and the most prepared you can be for what's coming your way sooner than later. In this case, sooner would have been a lot better than what we're seeing with later.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is with scooters, we've seen the city council react to how it reacted with rideshare back in 2014, where city council's initial response was to overregulate. Which, of course, that led Uber and Lyft and other rideshare companies to leave the market, saying it just was, the rules were too onerous. So that got a lot of tech companies up in arms too. We have a relatively small tech industry, but what we have was really upset. And they were able to marshal a lot of young adults, a lot of millennials, to their cause, which was to bring rideshare back. City Hall paid attention to that. I mean, they kind of loosened regulations on rideshare, and when scooters came around, they started out by saying, council members started out by saying, well, we're going to take a light regulatory touch. And then, oh, hey, by the way, scooters are annoying and people get injured. They're all over the place, and they can be a nuisance in the wrong hands. And hey, there are a lot of wrong hands, riding. And
ironically, we're back with some of the same players involved in scooters.
Exactly. Yeah. So now we've gone back, and it's like they're taking regulation of scooters seriously. And it feels like, we're all getting kind of whiplashed by the council's handling of technology.
It seems like the main thing they're concerned about is not to be perceived as being on the wrong side of technological innovation, which is what they were for a while when they over-regulated Uber.
Yeah.
Since you're both business reporters, let's take a look at the city's business climate. Our unemployment rate continues to be historically low, but we keep hearing anecdotal evidence of a business slowdown. Who's doing well, who's doing poorly in the San Antonio business community?
Poorly. I don't know that anyone's doing poorly yet. I would keep an eye out on the real estate side, the housing side. I think there's been a proliferation of building, and that can sometimes lead to concerns.
Yeah. I mean, we're in this weird position right now where, the economy is humming along. We keep hearing about the possibility of a slowdown. And the stock market, which is always a terrible guide, but it's
the only one we have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we follow it anyway. It fluctuates. It's up, it's down, and our feelings about the economy kind of move with it. But I mean, if you look at just what we have on the ground, like right now, it's historically low, generally speaking, historically low unemployment, which is great. But that, there are two things that doesn't acknowledge. One is that there are, we have a growing segment of the population that has quit looking for work.
Yeah, what they refer to as opportunity youth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they aren't in the job market, and we don't know exactly how they're surviving. It's presumably they're with family and friends, and they're being taken care of that way, but they're not in the labor market, and that segment's growing. We also have jobs that aren't being created because of this tight labor market. I mean, you talk to a lot of companies, including construction, they're having a heck of a time finding workers. I mean, a lot of companies we've spoken with would be creating jobs, a lot more jobs, if they had the employees, or if they had the workers. they can't find them. I mean, there are a lot of positions going unfilled. It's just that kind of market.
And we don't often put homelessness and business in the same sentence, but I think we should more than we do. And I think that's an issue that San Antonio needs to keep an eye out on.
Now, Scott, if San Antonio were a stock and you were betting on growth, would you invest in San Antonio today?
I would. I don't see anything on the immediate horizon that we're slowing down. I think there's some real momentum in San Antonio that people on the outside are looking at.
I would look at San Antonio as like a long-term play. It's not going to be Apple. It's not going to be Google. It's not going to be. It's going to give me dividends into my old age, right? I mean, it's going to be nice. It's going to be like General Electric, nice slow growth,
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. But if we're looking at if you grade an economy by job creation, and this was true in 2018. San Antonio had compared to its sister cities in Texas, it had the slowest job growth of all of them. So if it's job growth you're talking about, you're going to invest in Austin, Houston, and Dallas before you invest in San Antonio. We're just a slower moving but steady economy. We're always, we are typically going to be generating jobs. We're just not going to do it as quickly as the other metro areas.
Greg Jefferson, business editor of the San Antonio Express News. Scott Bailey, senior reporter for the San Antonio Business Journal. Thanks for joining us for The Conversation Continues.